compass thing here. Hey Kinfolk, so today is all about the wheels, and I'm taking a break with some hot cocoa on a nice snowy day. So the wheels, I just got the cheapest plywood I could find. It was just, you know, kind of close to 3/4 inch plywood sheathing, and I had to get 4 sheets, 1 sheet for each wheel, and I had to double them up, as you can see. And so yeah, so far they're really holding up. I painted the edges with some waterproof wood glue to kind of help seal them up and to give it a little bit tougher edge. I'm thinking about adding a bit more of a iron ring or some sort of metal to kind of help keep the wheels in good condition so they don't get blown out and things like that. So yeah, this took a lot of effort, and I'm going to walk you through all the little issues that I kind of came up with and what I did to solve them. And yeah, I'm going to pass that along to you guys. So let me give you a little tour. Alright, so I made sure I didn't put a whole lot of screws on the outside here. I screwed them in from here and a little bit on the inside there on some of them. Some wheels have them, some wheels don't. I figured just a few on the outside, and then these bolts for these wheel bearings will hold the inside in, and I can cut some sort of shape or design, and then that's another future project. But so yeah, so far they're nice and straight, but these did come curved, and I tried to put curve against curve, and so when it kind of came together it would just mash flat, and that's what happened, and ultimately it stayed that way so far anyway. Yeah, let me go on to the next thing. Hammer time. There it is. These are 1 inch, what is it, a 1 inch bore mounted bearings. And again, so the shaft that goes through it, you have to drill a hole at least 1 inch. And I would go 1 1/16, 1 1/8, whatever you got. And if you only got a 1 inch, speed bore bit, then you can take a file and widen it out a bit and waller it out to just keep it, because you don't want the shaft to rub up against the wheel, because that's going to really slow things down. And these are 1/2 inch 13s, and so yeah, again, just slightly above 1/2 inch, or just waller it out to give it more room for that bolt to pass through. Otherwise you're going to be fighting it. And likewise on the other side here, you see these are 1/2 inch 13 nuts, but they're also stop nuts. They're like there's a little plastic ring in there that keeps the thing from unscrewing itself. So yeah, that's essential, because this thing's going to be rattling around and you don't want this coming undone, especially say if you're going downhill at a very fast pace. Okay, so when I first tried to put just one of these on there, I realized that these tend to oscillate, and it didn't work out. And ended up these would lean inward or outward, whatever. And it definitely didn't work, so I had to get another pair. And these are about like 10 bucks a piece, 12 bucks a piece, and I had to get a second pair. So that ended up being, a lot more money to get 2 bearings on each wheel. But these things move very fluidly, and I'm glad I did go this route. There is another way, but I wouldn't have the independent turning, because each wheel will turn on its own, whereas if I had bearings just mounted onto the frame, the shaft would move and these would hold still, and that would present another set of problems. So that's why I have 2 on each side. And before it was just 1, and I had a heck of a time trying to figure it out, trying to get them stable, and it took hours and hours and hours, and I just finally bit the bullet and just bought more wheel bearings. So for the shaft, I just used a 1 inch bar, just steel bar stock, mild steel. I had to get rid of all the paint and anything else that was on there, because it wouldn't have fed in as easily, because these have to come out and off on a regular basis. And of course I had to make sure that they were narrow enough to fit. Yeah, and even then they didn't fit too well, because I had to hammer it into place. So when I have to take this off, I have to make sure that I have to sand it down even more to make sure that that fit is nice and smooth on and off, but not so much to where it rattles around on the inside there. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode, and this one is all about the wheels and the issues that I had with the wheels. This had to be good. This had to be straight, and the bearings definitely have to work. And I ran into an issue where both bearings had to be on each side of the wheel. And again, that had to be right. Otherwise, they would tilt in or out and rub up against the frame, and definitely wouldn't work. I can mess up the frame, but I cannot mess up the wheels. The wheels had to be on the same game. And yeah, so this is going to do it for this build. And I still have more to do on this project. Next episode, I'm going to show you how I put it all together, and then we're going to go work on the body next, and we're going to start getting a flatbed down. We're going to start putting a railing around that flatbed, and then we're going to start working on the overall canopy on top of that, and trying to enclose that to where I can get a nice little cabin, nice little warm cabin that's going to keep me dry and comfortable. And also a steering mechanism. The front drivetrain definitely helps with that. I can steer, but I need some sort of tiller on the front, so I got to figure out how to rig that on there. And yeah, lots of stuff that have yet to go onto this project. So if this episode was helpful or entertaining in any way, consider donating to my Patreon, becoming a Patreon supporter, or just buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi if you just can't, if you don't want to do a monthly subscription. I also have really cool stuff like hoodies, nice warm hoodies in this winter time that when we're shooting this. you know, you can buy this stuff to help support the channel. And it really goes a long way. And it's really cool stuff. So you're actually getting some real value with the money that you're donating to the channel. And a lot of this stuff takes a lot of time and effort. And I really appreciate you guys pitching in where you can, when you can. So that's all I got for you. And I send you home with a be humble, be helpful, and be honorable. Thanks for watching.